I stood on the porch of a spotless white house I had never seen before. In my hands was a bag of groceries I had carefully chosen for Lisa. Soup, crackers, ginger ale. The things she said helped during her bad days after treatment. I knocked on the door. My heart was racing with worry. She had not answered my calls in 3 days. Her mother said she was sleeping, recovering, too weak to talk. The door opened. Lisa stood there in a designer dress. Her hair was styled. Her makeup was perfect. She looked healthier than I had seen her in months. Behind her, a man stepped out of the kitchen. He was holding a champagne flute. He placed his hand on her waist like he owned her. The grocery bag slipped from my hands. Oranges rolled across the porch. Lisa sighed. She looked annoyed, not surprised. Taryn, you should not be here. My mouth went dry. My name is Taryn Holt. And this was the moment I realized the woman I sold my house for was not sick at all. The man tightened his arm around Lisa's waist. He was claiming her right in front of me. She did not pull away. We talked about this, Lisa said. Her voice was calm, cold. I needed space. You were supposed to move on. Heat rose in my ears. Pure humiliation burned through my chest. My hands started shaking. Where is your treatment folder? I asked. My voice cracked. The medication? The doctor's schedule you said you had to follow. Lisa stepped outside and closed the door behind her. The man disappeared inside, but I could see his shadow through the window. He was watching us. Do not make this ugly, Taryn, she said quietly. Ugly. The word hit me like a punch. I had sold my father's house for her. I had given up everything. And she was telling me not to make it ugly. What did I sell my house for? I whispered. She did not answer. She just turned and went back inside. The door closed with a soft click. I stood there alone with groceries scattered at my feet. 3 months earlier, everything had been different. Lisa collapsed at home one morning. I was making coffee when I heard a crash from the bedroom. She was on the floor, shaking, sweating. Her eyes were wide with terror. She was whimpering in pain. I called 911. My hand was shaking so badly, I almost dropped the phone. The ambulance came fast, but those minutes felt like hours. At the hospital, her mother arrived before I could even explain what happened. She looked at me with accusing eyes. You pushed her too hard, she shouted. She told me she was exhausted, but you kept making plans. I tried to defend myself, but the doctor came out before I could speak. He mentioned a rare autoimmune disorder. Something about her immune system attacking her own body. The words blurred together. Lisa reached for me from the hospital bed. Tears streamed down her face. I am scared, Taryn. Do not let me die. I held her hand tight. You will not die. I promised. I will take care of everything. I meant it with every piece of my soul. 2 days later, the doctor showed us a folder. It was thick with papers about treatments, experimental procedures, advanced care that could save her life. The cost was written at the bottom of the last page. $120,000. My stomach dropped. Insurance would not cover it. They said it was too new, too risky, not proven enough. Lisa's mother looked directly at me. Her eyes were hard. If you love her, you will find a way. I thought about my father's house. The house where I grew up. The house he built with his own hands before he died. The house he left me in his will. It was the only thing of value I owned. That night, I could not sleep. I kept seeing Lisa's terrified face in the hospital. I kept hearing her voice asking me not to let her die. At sunrise, I called a realtor. By noon, I had signed the listing papers. The house would go on the market immediately. Emptying the house was the hardest thing I ever did. Every room held memories of my father. His tools still hung in the garage. The bedroom he built by hand still had his scent in the wood. Lisa came with me one afternoon. She cried as I packed boxes. You are saving my life, she whispered. I do not deserve you. I held her close. Yes, you do. The house sold in 2 weeks. A family from out of state paid cash. They wanted to move in right away. When the money entered Lisa's account for treatment, she kissed me. It was fierce and desperate. Then she suddenly flinched away like even that small touch hurt her body. I'm sorry, she said. Everything hurts right now. I convinced myself it was the illness. I convinced myself that once treatment started, she would get better. We would build a new life together. I had no idea I was building her life with someone else. A week after the sale closed, Lisa moved to her mother's house. She said she needed a rest in a quiet place, somewhere I could not accidentally disturb her recovery. I understood. At least I tried to. Our nightly video calls stopped. She said the light from the screen hurt her eyes. Our daily texts became shorter. Then they became every other day. Then every few days. When I called, her mother answered. She's sleeping. Do not disturb her recovery. I would lie awake at night wondering if she was okay. Wondering if the treatment was working. Wondering why she felt so far away. One night, I called her cell phone. She answered, but I heard voices in the background. Male voices. Laughter. Who is that? I asked. Just the TV, she said quickly. Then she hung up. I stared at my phone for an hour after that call. Something felt wrong, but I pushed the feeling away. She was sick. She was recovering. I needed to trust the process. A clinic invoice arrived at my apartment 2 weeks later. It was addressed to me, even though the treatment was in her name. I opened it carefully. The charges were high, but that was expected. What was not expected was that the doctor's name was blurred out. The address was partially covered with black marker. I tried to look up the clinic online. Nothing came up. The phone number on the invoice rang once, and then disconnected. No voicemail. No message. I decided to visit Lisa. I needed to see her. I needed to know she was okay. Her mother blocked the door when I arrived. Her face was hard. Unfriendly. You were stressing her out, Taryn. You were making her worse. I just want to see her for 5 minutes. I begged. No. She needs calm. Go home. The door closed in my face. I stood there feeling helpless. Feeling like I was losing something I could not name. 3 days later, Lisa accidentally shared her location with me. It happened through a group chat with mutual friends. Someone was planning a birthday party and asked who could come. Lisa's location popped up on the shared map. It was not her mother's neighborhood. It was a suburb I had never been to. A wealthy area with new construction homes. I stared at my phone. My heart was pounding. Why was she there? Maybe her mother drove her to a specialist. Maybe it was a new treatment center. I tried to convince myself there was an innocent explanation, but my gut told me something else. I got in my car. I had to know. I had to see for myself. The drive took 30 minutes. The whole time, I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. When I pulled up to the address, I saw the White House. Perfect lawn. New paint. A contractor's truck in the driveway. And that is when I knocked on the door. After Lisa told me to leave, I walked down the driveway in a daze. My legs felt like they were not my own. My vision was blurry. Behind me, I heard the man laugh. Told you he would show, he said to Lisa. Her voice was quieter, but I still heard it. Not now. They had been expecting me. They knew I would find out eventually. And they did not care. I reached my car and collapsed into the driver's seat. I sat there staring at the medical receipts I still carried in my wallet. Receipts for a treatment that never happened. My chest felt tight. My hands were shaking. I could not breathe right. Everything I had believed for 3 months was a lie. I finally broke. Not from anger. From grief. I pounded the steering wheel with my fists. Once. Twice. Over and over until my hands went numb. Dad. I whispered to no one. I failed you. I sold everything you built. Tears burned my eyes. I had promised myself I would never sell that house. It was the last piece of my father I had left. And I gave it away for a lie. For a woman who was not even sick. Then a realization hit me like ice water. Lisa was not alone in this. She could not have pulled this off by herself. Her mother knew. That man knew. Maybe others knew too. This was not just a betrayal. This was a plan. And I had been the target from the beginning. I sat in my car for another hour before I could drive. When I finally got home, I opened my laptop. I checked our shared bank history. Lisa had forgotten to disconnect me from notifications months ago. I had not checked it in weeks because I trusted her. Now I scrolled through every transaction. There were transfers from her account labeled home inspection. Another said countertops. Another said contractor deposit. The dates matched perfectly with the weeks she told me she was too weak to walk. The weeks she said treatment was making her so sick she could not leave bed. My stomach dropped to the floor. The money I gave her for medical treatment had gone to buying and renovating a house. My father's house had paid for her dream home. I searched for the man I saw at the house. I found him on social media within minutes. His profile was public. His name was Kyle Brennan. He was not her boyfriend. He was a home renovation contractor, a local real estate flipper who bought houses, fixed them up, and sold them for profit. And Lisa was listed as his business partner on his company page. The betrayal went deeper than I thought. This was not a love affair. This was not her leaving me for someone else. This was a scheme, a plan to take my money and build a business. I scrolled through photos of the house, before and after shots. Lisa was in several pictures, smiling and holding paint samples, looking perfectly healthy. The posts were dated during the months she said she was dying. My phone buzzed with a voicemail from an unknown number. I almost deleted it, but something made me listen. It was Lisa's father. His voice was casual, relaxed. He was talking to someone in the background. "Do not worry," he said. "Once the project sells, you will be able to repay him. He will move on. He always does. He is too loyal to fight back." The message was cut off. I listened to it twice, then 3 times. They had planned this. Her whole family had planned this. They had counted on my loyalty. They had bet that I would give everything and ask for nothing in return. And they had been right. Until now. I drove to the treatment center listed on the invoice. The address took me to an old strip mall on the edge of town. The building was abandoned. The windows were covered with boards. Graffiti covered the walls. A neighbor was walking his dog. I stopped him. "Do you know what used to be here?" He looked at the building. "That place has been empty for years. Used to be a dental office, but it closed down a long time ago." My chest went tight. The clinic never existed. The invoices were fake. Every piece of paper she showed me was a lie. I stood in that parking lot and felt the last piece of denial die inside me. I went home and started collecting everything. Every invoice. Every bank record. Every text message. Every location log from that day. She accidentally shared her position. I found a voicemail from her father. I saved it to 3 different places. I found the house purchase documents online through public records. Lisa's name was on them. So was Kyle's. I took screenshots of her social media posts. The ones where she looked healthy and happy during the months she claimed to be dying. I uploaded everything to a cloud folder. I labeled it Truth. Then I sat back and stared at my screen. I had the evidence. Now I needed to decide what to do with it. I showed up at Lisa's parents' house the next evening. I did not call first. I just knocked on the door. Her father answered. He looked surprised, but not worried. "Taryn, we were not expecting you." "I know," I said. Inside, the family was eating dinner. Lisa's mother, her younger sister. They were laughing about something. I walked to the table and placed the fake clinic invoice in the center, right on top of someone's plate. Everyone went silent. Lisa's mother stared at the paper. Her face went pale. "You were not supposed to find that," she whispered. I did not say anything. I just turned and walked out. I heard her father call on my name, but I did not stop. I had said everything I needed to say. The next morning, I went to Kyle's office. It was in a small building near the industrial district. His company logo was on the door. I walked in without an appointment. The receptionist tried to stop me, but I moved past her. Kyle was at his desk. He looked up and recognized me immediately. His face went red. I placed a folder of evidence on his desk. Bank transfers. Photos. Dates. "You want to explain this?" I asked calmly. He stared at the papers. His hand was shaking. "Look, man, I did not know the whole situation. Tell me what you do know." He sighed. "The partnership is not going well. Lisa overspent. She lied about where the money came from. She said it was an inheritance. It was not. I know that now." He rubbed his face. "Her family told me you would never figure it out. They said you were too trusting." I recorded every word on my phone. That afternoon, I sent everything to the bank. I sent it to the realtor who sold my father's house. I sent it to my attorney. Then I sent it anonymously to Lisa's extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, people who thought she was sick. I wrote a simple message with each email. This is the truth about Lisa's illness. I had sent on all of them. My hands were steady. My heart was calm. The truth was out now. A quiet storm was coming. Late that night, my phone rang. It was Lisa, the first time she had called me in weeks. Her voice was hysterical. "Why would you do this to me? To us?" I almost laughed. "There is no us, Lisa. You are ruining everything. Do you know what you have done?" I told the truth. "That is all." She started crying. "Can we just talk? Please. In person." "No. Taryn, please." I hung up. I blocked her number. I blocked her mother's number. I blocked her father's number. I was done being their target. 2 days later, my attorney called. The bank froze the renovation funds. They are investigating fraud. I felt a weight lift off my chest. What does that mean for the house project? It is dead in the water. Kyle cannot finish the renovations without the money. He is pulling out of the partnership. An hour later, Lisa's father called my attorney's office. He wanted to talk. He wanted me to fix this. My attorney asked what I wanted to do. "Tell him I am done fixing what they broke," I said. The message was delivered. He did not call again. Word spread fast in our small town. Lisa's younger sister, who apparently had not known the full truth, told her friends. Those friends told others. Within a week, everyone knew. Lisa had faked a serious illness to steal money from her boyfriend. Her mother's reputation collapsed. People stopped inviting her to events. Old friends avoided her at the grocery store. Lisa was asked to resign from her job. They called it ethical concerns. Really, they did not want to be associated with her. The fallout was severe, public, painful. I did not feel happy about it. I just felt tired. A month after everything came out, I received a call from a lawyer I did not know. He represented Lisa's family. They wanted to settle, quietly. They would pay me back a significant portion of what I lost. In exchange, I would sign an agreement not to pursue further legal action. My attorney reviewed the offer. It is fair. More than fair, actually. They are scared of what you could do in court. I thought about it for a long time. This was not about revenge. It was about justice. I signed the settlement. Not because I needed the money, but because I needed closure. With the settlement money, I bought a small piece of land. It was near where my father's house used to stand. Not the exact spot, but close enough. I hired a builder. Together, we designed a simple home. Nothing fancy, just a place that felt like mine. The day construction started, I stood on the empty lot and touched the soil. "I'm home, Dad," I whispered. This was my rise. Quiet, earned, real. I heard through mutual friends that Lisa's house deal collapsed completely. The renovations stopped halfway. Kyle sued her for fraud and breach of contract. Her parents stopped answering her calls. They were trying to distance themselves from the scandal. The dream home she stole from my sacrifice was repossessed by the bank. I heard she stood outside crying as movers took her things. One afternoon, I drove past the house. I did not plan to. I just happened to be in the area. Lisa was standing on the lawn. Our eyes met. She looked broken, empty. I kept driving. I did not stop. I did not slow down. That chapter was closed. 6 months later, I moved into my new home. It was small, but it was mine. Built with honest money. Built with my own choices. Friends came over to help me paint. My mother brought dinner. There was laughter in the rooms. Warmth in the walls. I sat on the porch that evening, watching the sunset. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. I did not open it. I just blocked it. I whispered to the sky, "My life is mine again." And that, I realized, was the truest form of revenge. Not destruction, not pain, just peace. I had lost my father's house, but I had built something better, something that could not be taken by lies. I had built myself back.